brothers and sisters, and hello and welcome to a very special episode of Buckle Up. And Buckle Up is something I started a couple of years ago, and basically it's like carpool karaoke where we're chilling in the car, but instead of singing, we're actually talking. And man, oh man, I'm a huge fan of this incredible artist that we have in front of us right here. She is somebody that made me cry, smile, and laugh. She's somebody that elevates us, and she is somebody who is a human being first. She is one of our heroes, the one, the only Emel Mathlouthi. Salam alaikum, sister.
Shukran. Salam alaikum. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I don't know what to say when it comes to you, family. You are just incredible. First time I saw you live was in the UAE, and I couldn't believe you were just kind of preparing for your set. We met, and I was like, what? So yeah, bless you, and congratulations for the incredible project that you just dropped. Of course, the Kilmati Hurra. I'm so proud to even have somebody like you exist. صراحة يعني, this is it. Wallahi.
Shukran. Wallahi, I don't know what to say. You made my day. Already.
I can see from your story that, mashallah, a lot of people are sharing it. But before we talk about this project, tell me the story of Kilmati Hurra. Yani the initial one, the first one. Obviously, the sound of the revolution. How did it all? يعني كيف ولدت كلمتي حرة?
So it all started in a summer night in 2006 in مهرجان قليبية لسينما الهوات في مدينة قليبية in Tunisia. It's an amazing festival because you have like all these really alternative, movies and filmmakers. So every creative used to go there, all the artists, singers, and apparently I used to have my guitar all the time. And I met Amin Al-Ghazi, who wrote the lyrics of Kilmati Hurra, and we knew each other, and maybe he kind of liked what I did, so he presented me with a little piece of paper, and he said, like, if you feel like doing anything with that. And I kept the piece of paper, and I didn't really have the habit of singing anybody else's lyrics because I'm coming from, like I used to, play the Cranberries and Nirvana. And so I used to write my own little things. And so it was a big responsibility for me. And one day I had this song that I was already working on, and it already had a music, and I had this other musical part that I wanted to like put in it, and then I'm like, doesn't make sense. This is a completely different other song. I should just, do something else with it. And then like, why shouldn't I try those lyrics with this melody? And subhanallah, it really worked like magic. Like I didn't have to, cut or paste or do anything. Wow. It just worked like verse, chorus, bridge.
Meant to be,
yeah. So that's how the song
So you
came.
got the song in 2006?
So I wrote the music in 2007. So the song was ready by the spring of 2007, and I performed it for the first time in Paris because I started moving to Paris, and I had the opportunity. I was given 2 minutes on a huge stage with all the superstars from the world music, like Suad Massi, like Johnny Clegg, Ismailo. It was a huge stage, and I was just setting foot in Paris, and somebody somehow had the good idea of putting me there, and they said, you have 2 minutes.
Big up to them.
And I took 6 minutes. I'm like, I have to sing Kilmati Hurra. I have to speak up, for Tunisia, for Palestine, for Iraq. And I started, I'm like, as long as I don't stop, they won't kick me out. And that's what I did. And you can see the performance. It's on YouTube. You can see that I'm like da 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 da.
Mashallah alayki. Emel, where do you get this passion from? Like, like عندك طاقة إيجابية. There's an energy about you. that, you know, we just only met once, obviously, but there's an energy about you, subhanallah. And, you know, كلمتي حرة, it's not, yani, okay, you know, it's a song that you can dream with, inspire with, you know, like it's a soundtrack for so many people's lives. How do you and generally, of course, yani, we have to do another interview, but this is mainly a quick one about the passion for the music. ليش?
I think I was kind of born with it, because as long as I remember, as far as I remember, I was always very interested by music. And also, luckily, my dad is a huge, he loves music and he loves singing. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't really have a very good voice, but he has like this passion. He loves classical music. So I grew up, in my childhood, I grew up listening and waking up every Sunday morning with Beethoven and Vivaldi. So I think that kind of, you know, stuck with me. And I listened to Sheikh Imam from when I was very young, and Marcel Khalifa. No, actually Marcel Khalifa a little bit later. But yeah, my early musical influences were these, and some of the Tunisian music from the 30s.
Wow.
So yeah, I think it kind of like helps you to grow up to be somebody with a little bit of a good taste.
Yeah, mashallah alayki, of course.
But I love art. I love music. I wanted to do theater. I've always been passionate. I think, you know, that's my reason to be. That's why when my mom wanted to do masters and whatever,
Guys.
I'm like,
Yeah. No, I mean, I was gonna say, after this COVID-19 situation, when you start touring again, if Emel Mathlouthi is performing, I don't care what you have, go watch her. It's an experience to watch this incredible artist perform. Emel, if you don't mind, I'm gonna share my screen right now, because I want you to. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, salam. Now, the first time I saw this, okay, what? Like, I'm just trying to understand when just watching it, Emel. Okay, just kind of watching it gives me, subhanallah. Like, I'm gonna cry right now. I swear to God, just listening to 3 seconds. When you're performing like this, man, can you take me in that performance when you did 2015 Nobel Peace Prize? Can you take me and try to describe your emotions to us? لما شفتي الكم الهائل من الناس, you know, all obviously Nobel Peace Prize, you're singing كلمتي حرة, and the vibe afterwards. Look, just talking about it, I have goosebumps here. Can you try to kind of explain the feeling that you were feeling, or maybe you were in another world?
I was terrified. That's why I was holding the microphone like this. I was so terrified. Yani, at once I was terrified, and at the same time I knew like I had to focus, because probably millions were watching. So I really had to focus to get my voice like sing in tune. And also I felt like that was my home. You know, it's like not, you know, contrast of different emotions, because I've always loved, you know, singing in big spaces. I think I'm kind of, I've always been destined, maybe. I love huge. I mean, it's very scary, but at the same time, it was, you know, that was like the best place for me to be in the whole world.
Yeah. Do you watch this performance like some time to time, or like you don't watch it? Like كده بينك وبين نفسك?
I don't watch it like from my own choice, but sometimes like when I'm working, I need to send links and it comes up.
Yeah.
And sometimes like I keep it running because I'm writing an email, and I'm like, wow, this is good. So I don't have like, it is a very touching performance for me too.
Man.
So
Okay, so now the kind of, you premiered this beautiful video July 13th, a couple of days right now. MashaAllah, it's getting a lot of shares on Instagram and in YouTube. فكرة موضوع انه to get people around and to kind of remake this in a way, and when did it cross your mind?
So I was trying to like stay creative despite everything, okay? And also I was stuck in Tunis where I just went to visit my family. So I was actually happy to be there, but I didn't have anything. I didn't have my guitars. I didn't have, my gear. And a lot of musicians were sharing stuff in their studios. So I was trying to like keep up and do some lives, even though my network was crappy. And but I was trying to hold on to some hope and try to remain creative. And there was this young musician from Tunisia, and I totally apologize to him because he had the idea, because he started like a series where he chooses songs from artists and then he does like collages, like but just three or four different musicians. And he said, record just 1 minute or something from Kantiha. And I did. And then I didn't like what he did.
Okay.
And then I'm like, but I should do a
Yeah.
I should do a Kantiha confinement version. I was with my best friend and she's like, yeah, you should totally do it. And I'm like, great. And I go home and it's 2 a.m. and I'm drafting this list and I'm writing people because the idea was to get it out right away, during confinement. And then like 2 days later, I'm like, what am I doing? I called one of my best friends. I'm like, this is a mistake. I'm going nuts. Why did I bring this on myself? This is so stressful. I'm never going to be able to do it. There's too much of responsibility. And then she's like, no, you can do it. It's a great idea. Keep it up.
If you don't mind me asking, when was this?
This was like end of April.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So and I have always had the stress of like, the confinement is going to end. You have to get it out. And then at some point I'm like, so it started growing after that because people were like, why don't you contact, blah, blah, blah. Why don't you contact blah, blah, blah? Why don't you contact Hind Sabri? Why don't you contact Daf al-Abidin? And I'm like,
it's skyrocketed.
They're too famous, and they're, I'm going to contact them and tell them to sing. What if they don't like the idea? But the more I was contacting people, the more people were like, yeah, great, I love it. People were so humble and that meant a lot to me because I realized that this song means much more than just me or Amin Ghazi who wrote it or Tunisia or just the revolution of 2011. It means that, sometimes some music can really connect us so powerfully. And that's exactly the message. I'm like, I don't care if the song is old, but I don't think there's any other song that's going to bring the best out of people, everybody, the artist and the audience. So that kind of like helped me through the whole thing because, it was madness.
I'm pretty sure it was very difficult, obviously, to, and as we're sharing it again, يعطيك ألف عافية. Shout out to all the musicians, the people, man. Woo. See, here where it gets really crazy, start getting goosebumps, and it's just, when you released it, when you clicked that live button, how did you feel? And especially when people started reacting and you started getting shares from people start talking about it, and the network of, mashallah, the people that, performed also start sharing it. إيش كان إحساسك throughout?
So I scheduled it, okay? I put like a premiere.
Yeah.
For the first time, I did everything right, I think. Like I did a teaser and then a second teaser and I put the date and then it was like premiere. And then I realized I forgot something very important in the credits. So I had to like delete it and reschedule the premiere. Anyways, we did like, I think it was like version 1 million or something.
Wow.
But anyway, so then I didn't prepare any post or anything. It was just going to be out on YouTube while I was sleeping. So I wake up and I see it's already 20,000 and it's just been only 2 hours. So I'm like, whoa. So I spent like, I stayed in bed like for like 4 hours going from like one platform to another. And
A lot of
like,
DMs, I'm pretty sure. A lot of DMs and stuff.
Like I have to post about it myself. I didn't even start posting about it. Yeah, and then like I wanted to tag all the people in the video, like imagine like 53,
Yeah,
you know, and figure out their socials, because, you know, obviously nobody gave me like a sheet with everybody's socials, so I had to like figure everything out.
wow.
But it's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, again, wallahi, thank you so much, Emel, for taking actually the time to speak to me and actually speak like this. I just wanted to congratulate you, really. Yani, as a human being, I think this is something that we really need. I think we miss with everything that's going on right now. Yani, with COVID-19, with the social unrest that's happening, with people speaking up. This is a crazy song. Did you ever imagine in 2006 and 7 when you kind of wrote this, that this is in 2020 now will skyrocket 53 artists in this song doing it again and again? And it was kind of also the last frame that got me teary. There was a gentleman playing the piano before the last.
Yeah, Sheikh Tidiane Sek.
Wow.
He's from Mali.
Mali.
You know that guy.
I was like, khalas, I'm tearing. Me, my wife, we're tearing at that point. We're done. We're done.
You know that guy is like one of the most important African musicians. And I kind of knew his name, but we never met. And I actually was writing somebody else, and then I wrote him. And then I realized, oh my God, I'm actually writing this guy. And he replied right away. And it was so late. I think like I don't think he sleeps before 4 a.m. or something.
God
so
bless.
he answered me, and I'm like, you sure you want to do this? And he's like, yeah, sure. And he started sending me tons. And I'm like, any of them? It's great. And he's like, no, I have to record this properly. And I'm like, yes, okay, just do anything. And then I was watching with my husband, and he got us tearing, you know, every time. And then that's why I decided, I'm like, this part, I'm not touching it. I'm just putting it just like that at the end, you know. We have to give him, you know, the honor of like finishing, because he went on such a trip. And I'm so honored that, you know, because I asked him to translate if, yani, it's a bonus. I was suggesting, because it's an effort to translate. So I'm like, if you can, translate in your own language. And he did, and he even like improvised this melody. Him and even Dabi Touré, who's kind of like, okay, we're finishing with a big smile. So
beautiful.
Yeah, that's the magic. That's the magic of music.
It's magic. Out of the feedback that you received, and there are many, and I know they're all amazing, but has there been one feedback, كده تعليق واحد, that really caught you? Something that, I know they're all affected you, بس كان في تعليق or one comment or a feedback from somebody, whether it's an artist being involved, whether it's somebody that you didn't know, that kind of was like, oh wow, this is like crazy?
Well, the feedback from Sheikh Tidiane Sek, actually, I wrote him today to make sure that he got the video and that he was happy with it. And he said, you have such a beautiful soul. Without knowing you, your voice breathes sincerity. Stay strong. And I'm like, thank you for your words. And he's like, no words can define you.
SubhanAllah.
And you know,
wallahi, he's right. I'm a radio host. I can't even describe you. You are such an amazing, incredible, you know, human being. And I want to stand up, like, you know, I swear to God, look, I'm standing up in here for you. Well, trying to stand up for this incredible artist. Emel, what is on the horizon next up? I know you dropped this 2 days right now, and you're celebrating the amazing thing. But what can we look forward in the next kind of 5-6 months in 2020, if there's anything coming out for you?
Oh yes, please look forward, because I somehow this confinement has been positive for me, and maybe also because for the first time I was home in Tunis with no clock ticking for when I had to get back, and like just despair, just to explore despair as much as so I have recorded 2 albums.
What? You recorded 2 albums? Recorded?
It's I just like, by luck, I had this Zoom recorder, and somebody one day told me that it also works like an interface. So I had this guitar also that a fan lent me in Tunis, a classic guitar that I haven't played in ages. It was so hard to tune, but it was a beautiful guitar. I mean, it's not a very good guitar, but it just sounded beautiful. And I started doing these lives, and I heard like all these songs of mine in an acoustic version, and I realized that I never recorded them that way. And so I decided to start recording like a selection of my songs in an acoustic version, just me and the guitar, you know, like a live mode, and explore some of my ancient from my beginnings. And also I recorded an album of covers, so it's going to be a double album. One side day and one side night. Yes, things that I recorded at night with not the crickets during the day, the crickets at night, and the frogs and during the day the birds, because I was on the rooftop, so all the birds from Tunis were hanging out with me, you know. And are they in the album? They are, because sometimes even I just left the window open because it was so hot, and I just recorded. And sometimes I had the prayer surprise me. Wow. Because I live right by a mountain, and on top of the mountain there's a mosque. So it's funny because one of the songs that I covered is called New Year's Prayer from Jeff Buckley. And as I was starting to record, there was the prayer. So anyways,
it seems that in your life, it seems that, mashallah, like you're really born and destined to do this and impact people, subhanallah. في مثل, actually, you know El Cid, of course, you know, he's an amazing guy. He came to Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, and he drew رسم هذا المثل اللي هو مثل بدوي قديم بالعربي: إن الإنسان الذي لا أثر له لا حياة له. A human being with no impact has no life. And you've impacted so many people. And I think my last couple of questions for you, what has been the most difficult thing so far in your journey? يعني أصعب شيء تخطيتيه أنت في حياتك لغاية الآن.
I think the most difficult might be also a little bit connected to كلمتي حرة in some ways, is that I feel I'm in between like many different worlds. Okay, I'm from North Africa, but I'm not exactly African. I traveled to Europe and now to the US, so I'm actually more doing a career in the Western part of the world.
You're a third culture kid, I would say.
Yeah, at the same time, I have these strong connections with the Arab world. And I feel like the connections, I love going and performing in every country. I feel this connection between me and the audience. And so the challenge that I had is the way I'm perceived. So I feel like for the Westerns, they just want me to stay in my zone, like to represent, have this flag, you know, whether like people who are looking for exoticism, whether who are looking for political exoticism. And they kind of stuck us in that corner. And I feel like it's so unfair, because sometimes even when I'm productive and I can write in English, I can write in Arabic, but it doesn't matter to me. To me, you know, like the music and the voice are the genre. And so I feel like there's an invisible, we're like in the ocean, but there's an invisible barrier, and we're just like on the edge, and we're not really allowed to swim in the big ocean, you know, and explore. So I think that's the most difficult, even though I never really considered myself. To me, home is anywhere I feel good, and I'm not really like a patriotic. I love my country, I love the Arab world, I love Europe, I love New York. So I'm just, you know, fine with anything, and my culture is diverse and it evolves. So I don't know who I was talking. Yeah, you were talking to me about the identities. No, not you.
People box. You know, again, I'm Saudi Arabian with blue eyes, and the dude that does hip hop. You know, so you know, like whoa. People like to box people in, and it's a problem. And I don't think Aslan you can be boxed in. Emel and hip hop. Do you like hip hop? I'm sure you like hip hop. What do you? I mean, will we ever see you collaborate with a rapper? Is that something in your, you know, in the horizon?
I think it's somehow in my DNA, even though it can seem crazy, because also the way I sing is very slow, you know. And now that I'm trying to also work on a new album, apart from the records that I mentioned, I'm also trying to write new songs. And I recorded a few songs with my drummer, who is very like kind of like pop and hip hop. And I just realized that I love these hip hop, and I started even redoing some of my songs. And also I listened a lot to Kanye West, all of his albums. I had a phase like 2 years ago. I just downloaded all of his albums. And you know, like I love the 808 album. I love all from 808, Jesus and Pablo.
What? I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming at all. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy, mashallah.
I started listening to his like hits with Jay-Z.
If Kanye West kind of hit you up and said, let's do a song, would you do a song with him?
That's like my big life, big time dream ever.
We'll make it happen, man. Let's make it happen, bro. You know, that's amazing.
You never know. You never know.
By the way, I want to thank you for, there was a spoken word piece. I'm not sure what the gentleman in the video. He was amazing. He was saying, he was performing in French. It's a spoken word. كان في شعر.
Oh yeah, so yeah, that's Code Rouge, and he's a very important rapper.
Yeah. Moroccan, Belgian.
Belgian, yeah.
I'm like, wow. So الزبدة, like we say in Hijaz, الزبدة, the summary is follow this incredible sister. Watch the video if you haven't seen it. I want to put the link below.
Actually, I have a song with Code Rouge. That's why I invited him, because we collaborated a few years ago, and it's called Code Rouge and Emel Mathlouthi. It's a song for Palestine. It's an amazing song. That's a guy that never, you know, he never compromised. I just forgot the name of the song.
The Horizon one.
Yes, Horizon. Yeah. Horizon. Yeah.
Oh,
a great video,
I
you know.
Hearing the song, صح. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, of course. Man, this was like 9 years ago, mashallah. Wow.
Yeah. I didn't
you know,
realize.
As we're wrapping up, do you really like? You look back, 2005, 6, or you know, even before. Would you change anything in your career? Anything at all if you had the power?
Absolutely.
You would?
Yes. Okay.
Usually 95% of the artists I interview, like, no, nothing will change, which is, it's refreshing to hear. Don't get me wrong. It's really nice to hear because, you know.
No, I wish I would have started with what I'm doing right now. So, because I feel like the fact that, you know, I have this like career, like the political singer, the Arab Spring, the, you know, Arabic, blah, blah, blah. And now all of a sudden I'm singing in English and I'm kind of, you know, going towards, you know, different musical directions. I feel like, and then I see new artists coming with that right away and then like kind of getting where they want to get.
I got
so
you.
I'm like,
but
maybe I should have started.
I think each of us have a map and have a road, and you had to go through that road. And you are just incredible, fam. Wallahi, I can't, and I don't know, كم مرة قلت incredible. She's amazing. We love you and we salute you. Wallahi, Allah يحميكم. God bless you. If there is a message, هذه رسالة للفانز اللي حيشوفوها. Emel Mathlothi's fans throughout the world. What do you tell them?
Well, I thank them very much for sticking to my side, because obviously I change from album to album. I think I have the best fans in the world, and I know every artist would say this, but I'm saying it because, you know, you see that how much there's complexities in what I do, and when I go to YouTube and I read the comments, I'm just, you know, so touched by the, you know, the time that people and the depth of what they say. And it really means a lot to me. So I want you to know that I read a lot and I try to respond as much as I can. And I love, يعني, it's the meaning of my life to be connected to my audience, because otherwise I'm nothing, especially during this time. I feel like the audience is sticking to the artists and they're showing us so much love. So we're trying to give you love back and, you know, share new stuff and keep being creative for you guys.
You are incredible. Guys, please like and subscribe. Follow the sister right here, Emel Mathlouthi. We love you. Even Woody right here is telling you bye-bye. Peace and love to everybody. Like and subscribe. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
You're the best.
Peace, Emel.